The win over New Orleans on Saturday was a bit of a roller coaster, down 15 in the fourth quarter. Then Harden and Mitchell became legitimate assassins. They scored 25 of the team's 35 points in the fourth quarter. They assisted on 4 of the 5 other baskets that players scored, meaning for the 35 points the Cavaliers scored in the fourth quarter, 33 were directly attributed to James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Since the James Harden trade, guys, the Cavaliers' fourth quarter numbers have been incredible. A 120.7 fourth quarter offensive rating. That's the second best mark in the NBA. Their clutch offense since the Harden deal, which goes back to early February, is now the 6th best in the NBA. Prior to that Harden deal, it was 22nd.
Yikes.
Talk about an improvement. Jason, what's the biggest thing you've seen from this Harden, Mitchell, late game combination that has you excited about their potential in the playoffs?
2 guys who can close, 2 guys who you feel comfortable with the ball in their hands. And, I mean, listen, Darius wasn't he like the league leader?
He was incredible in the clutch last year. I don't want to take anything away from him.
Yeah, so I think it's important to recognize that they've had this type of play prior to, and everybody knows James sustains in the playoffs, but for now, right now, you feel comfortable with the ball in his hands in late game situations. I mean, I was just trying to think off the top of my head in the East, what pairings would you take over these guys? I would still take Boston. You got to take JT and Jaylen Brown.
That's fair.
Over these guys.
That's the only ones I'd take.
Yeah,
that's the list.
Because you can make a case for the Knicks, but I would take these guys.
Yeah, I would too right now.
Yeah, I got them. Here's what we back to. The 2 best guys got the ball in their hands, and now you got a guy who man, these passes that Harden be throwing, bad job out of me. This just goes to show you that when you are a fan in a specific city, and I like to pride myself on trying to watch as much stuff as I can, but it just goes to show you that it's just not possible, because even as much as I've seen James Harden in his whole career, I did not have a level of appreciation for the fact that how he is passing the ball to bigs. Like, I thought, and the way he can control pace. To me, LeBron is the greatest of all time at doing it. It's not close. But James Harden is phenomenal at pace, controlling the pace down to a halt or getting guys involved. And he just has the ball. When he said he is the offense, he wasn't lying.
He is.
He was not. These passes he's making off the pick and roll is crazy, and the reason he's making. And now when you pair that skill set with the ability to shot make and to be clutch and get to the basket with Donovan Mitchell, by the way, who's hitting his free throws, and I just feel like he's hitting more of his free throws when he's going to the line at the end of the game. I just don't know. The numbers might not bear it out, but I just feel like when those 2 guys got the basketball, you feel like you got a chance. It's kind of like when Kyrie and LeBron was doing. You feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if it's miss or make, you feel good with the rock in the hand.
Yeah, I'll tie this back to my comment in the first hour about the Cavs. I think that I talked about the switch, knowing where it is and knowing when to throw it. Well, in the playoffs, you need your 2 best players to be your 2 best players.
Yeah.
It's great. You're going to need big performances from guys like Max Strus and Sam Merrill, and obviously Mobley and Allen are going to be needed. But the one thing that you can't question when you ask what are you going to have in a series, you can't question, are we going to have our 2 best players be our 2 best players?
Yeah.
You can't. And there were times in the last couple of years where I didn't know that we were going to get our 2 best players best performances in the playoffs, and we didn't, and we left early.
And it's fair to say you weren't sure who the 2 best players were.
Right. That's another thing.
Right.
There's no question to me now.
Yeah.
And you're right. Your point about James Harden and his distribution of the basketball, you knew it. When they acquired him, one of the things that you said you most liked about him was his passing skill set.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. When you watch it on a night in and night out basis, it does hit differently. It's not just a highlight that you see once in a while. It's James Harden constantly doing that. His ability to penetrate, get the defense to collapse, and then find someone at the rim. He is the offense. I mean, in his prime, he really was. He was that good. But he adds a layer to this club that they desperately needed. And again, I don't think they can win the NBA championship. I just think there are better teams. I think Boston's better. I think San Antonio's better. I think that Oklahoma City's better. Yeah. But let's try to push this thing and see how far we can get this year. Add the pieces in the offseason and then make a real push next season. I said earlier it's beneficial they stay in the 4 spot. I have to think that New York is looking at this saying, you know what? It wouldn't suck for us if we fell behind Cleveland. So, you always hear the tank for the top of the draft.
Right.
There could be a tank for 4.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I don't think Boston and New York care one rip.
You
where
don't.
their seed is. No.
They
Mike,
should.
You think I'm wrong?
They should. New York especially, not Boston.
I don't think Boston.
Boston
If I'm
doesn't
Boston,
care.
I'm taking whoever comes my way. But if I'm New York,
knowing Mike the way that I do, I don't think they care.
it's going to be
I
interesting.
don't
They
think
might
they
not care, but they might be bounced in round 2.
Last point real quick, and I know we got to get to super
They're not
chats
better than
after
Boston.
a break, but in
No.
terms of the Mitchell-Harden end-of-game combo, Chris Fedor did a really good job highlighting in his article after the win on Saturday what actually came to fruition on that game-winning Mitchell layup where they blitzed Harden
Yes.
and dumped it off was something they worked on in practice earlier in the week. And practices this late in the season very rarely happen. But Kenny Atkinson called the practice. The entire focus of the practice was late-game offense.
Wow.
When teams blitz either Harden or Mitchell, how to find the space to get the ball out of their hands into the others, and then they're playing 4-on-3 advantage
That's
basketball.
smart.
It worked to perfection. Is it going to work that well every time? No. You're going to miss shots. But it was cool to see something they practiced that doesn't often happen come to fruition in a moment like that between two stars. I thought that was really, really well done by Chris, so make sure you check it out.
Very cool.
One
Yeah,
more break
it
and super
is rare
chats.
that happens. You're working on something in practice this late in the year.
Right.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, but blitzing ball handlers and getting the ball out of their hands is the first thing you do in the playoffs.
Sure.
What else do you have in your bag after that?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're gonna need more than one play to do it.
Yeah.